Hello and thanks for staying with us. The Customs Management has tasked the newly recruited officers on discipline and dedication to duty. Also on Customs report, drugs worth millions of naira intercepted by various commands in the country. Plus, more report. I am Igiseme Etinye. Stay tuned. The Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service has said that Nigerian Customs Service will continue to implement policies that will further increase the economy and fight smuggling activities in Nigeria. He also told the National Assembly members on the working of the budget of the service, so that the budget will further improve staff welfare and also encourage the agencies to pay more attention to collection of duties all over the country.
And I start with item 2 there, which is the review of the 2021 approved budget performance. Revenue performance of 2021 budget. The approved revenue target for the year 2021 stood at 1.679 trillion. The service collected a total revenue of 1.716 trillion for the period of January to December 2021. When compared to the approved revenue target of the same period, January to December 2020, the service surpassed its target by 504.34 billion, or 41.63%. The service also collected the sum of 525.06 billion as value-added tax on imports from January to December 2021, thereby bringing the total collection for the year 2021 to 2.241 trillion for the period under review. Page 3. Most importantly, the above remarkable performance was recorded amidst the following militating factors. As usual, as always, we continue to state this because they are part of the militating factors against what we believe would enhance the collection of revenue and maximizing our collection. First among them is the standing government, the deliberate trade and economic policies, monetary both and physical, such as the restriction of 43 items from accessing forex at official window. While we are not saying we're not against it, and I'm sure the wisdom behind this is good enough, but it is one of those things that has reduced the amount that we would have collected. 2, the non-functional scanners at the various customs scanning sites. This factor has adversely affected the service's ability to carry out effective examination for selective consignment, and the chairman made mention of this in his opening remarks. 3, only 2 commodities, cigarette and alcoholic beverages, were under excise control within the period under review. So we are yet to get the directive to start collecting the 10% on carbonated drink, and also we are yet to come to terms of who is going to collect the telecommunication excise. That is still under process, and it is our hope that before the end of the first quarter of this year, we will precisely get go ahead to start collecting, because every day that passes by, we are losing revenue.
He speaks more on issues and activities of the service.
Evasion and economic sabotage. Thus, high level of this relationship must be deliberately structured in order to broaden our tax collectivity. Page 8, Mr. Chairman and distinguished senators. 2022 expected income. The service proposed a budget expenditure of 369.14 billion for the year 2022, which will be sourced from the following sources. First is the 7% cost of collection for the year 2022. We expect to reap 151.84 billion. 2, 60% CISS granted by Mr. President, we expect to reap 60.12 billion. and 2% share of the NCS VAT collection. There we expect to generate 14.94 billion. And then the retained income for the year 2021 to roll over to 2022 is 114.39 billion. And the share of the excess of the 2021 budget, which of course we couldn't have made any effort of spending it because it was not budgeted, as a result of the of exceeding the target, we were able to get this amount also added to our own collection. The total sum, therefore, distinguished chair, is 369.14 billion. The expected income will be utilized as follows. First, personnel cost. We expect, if everything goes well, to expend 108.85%, 85 billion, or 29.49% of the budget on personnel cost. Then overhead cost. We expect to spend 45.89 billion, or 12.43 billion of the entire budget. Capital cost. The total cost here is almost all the bulk of our money will go on capital expenditure. And here, this is one of the few budgets that is I think nationwide, that you find out that much money is put in capital instead of overhead and personnel costs. So here Mr. Chairman, by the grace of God, expect to spend 214.30 billion, which is 58.08% of the total budget of 369.04 billion. Major highlights of the proposed budget expenditure. Personnel cost for 2022. The nominal roll of 15,004 personnel and 3,200 expected recruitment of cadets are used in estimating the personnel cost of 108.85 billion, which comprises of 86.50 billion is an allocation for personnel salaries and allowances. 7.73 billion is provision for employers' contribution under the National Pension Scheme. 3.93 billion is a provision for employers' contribution to National Health Insurance Scheme, NHIS.
The Assistant Controller General of Customs in charge of headquarters in Abuja have been speaking on the training of officers by the service. So the training of the officers will further improve their responsibility to the growth of the service.
It's a good development. After the recruitment exercise, the successful candidates were sent to training. The senior officers were sent to Lagos, while the junior ones were sent to Kano. So he decided to embark on that trip to see how the training is going on. And he was really impressed, especially the parade and other displays the cadets performed. He was really impressed with that. And that immediately this set of officers finished their training, other officers will equally go for training again. Because if you can remember, there is an advertisement placed in the newspapers between the 13th to 24th of December. So a lot of candidates have applied and they are being screened. After screening, they are going to do the examination. Then based on merits again, other successful candidates are going to be employed.
It speaks more on the number of issues.
Yes, some yes, like the junior ones that they are in Kano. They are really enjoying the training and they are happy about it. And one good thing that is interesting about this recruitment is that those who are really interested and those who performed very well are the ones selected. So you see, they have this enthusiasm, being initially having the hope of being officer, and eventually they succeeded in getting employment, recruited. Now they are in the training. So I believe by the time they finish and hit the field, the difference is going to be felt.
You are watching the program Customs Report. The Nigerian Customs Service said that very soon 400 containers will be scanned every day in 3 ports in the country. The ACG also said that the scanning machines will also detect customs goods that are not approved by government. It speaks more on the system.
No, the model the service approved today is what we call pre-scan regime, whereby if a vessel berths, all the containers will be scanned before going to stacking area, and the image will be stored. So by the time you make your declaration and the selectivity engine selects you for scanning, it's just for image analyst to bring up the image stored already. And if you are compliant, no issue, they are not suspecting anything, you will release it from custom control. There is no human contact.
Yeah, the system will take.
Average 400 containers every day will be scanned. We have a break period of just 4 hours to allow the machine relax, and then officers taking over. Our officers will work around the clock for 20 hours. The CGC recently granted out all the logistics we require to make it work. The model the service approved today is what we call pre-scan regime, whereby if a vessel berths, all the containers will be scanned before going to stacking area, and the image will be stored. So by the time you make your declaration and the selectivity engine selects you for scanning, it's just for image analyst to bring up the image stored already. And if you are compliant, no issue, they are not suspecting anything, you will release it from custom control. There is no human contact. Machines have been installed. Our officers and men have been trained in all the levels and sections that they are needed. Above all, even the maintainers, level 1 and level 2 maintainers, they've been trained and we are set to go.
The Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service has continued to preach against wrong payment of duty in Nigerian ports all over the country. The Assistant Controller General of Customs, Jefferson A., who represented the CG of Customs, says that the newly passed out cadets will further improve the service as they go by in all formations in the country.
Quite evident. You can see in less than 3 months from the parade, their conduct, discipline, high level of integrity, you can see that the sky is their limit. They're the future of customs. These are support staff. They're not general duty, and they're actually professionals. So that's why the training was cut down to 3 months. But you can see it's evident they were well trained, and the training was well taken by them. I was there 2 or 3 weeks ago to see the cadets and advise them. You can see that their training was quite rigorous. We started this training process in 2019. It took us time to go through the list and make sure that we didn't want the so-called anybody's in customs. We wanted to make sure that we're employing the right people, the right professions that could stand the test of time and stand and live up to the responsibilities and achieve our CGC's 3-hour mandates. So that is why the training, the selection process was quite rigorous, I must tell you. So many people were dropped along the way. We had pregnancy tests, we had drug tests, we had NDLE tests, all of them. There were so many checks on them before we could come up with this number. And it's going to be a continuous thing, continuous training. In another few months, we're having another set for training. Some are in Kanu. The general duty is in Kanu for 6 months.
We have to give glory to God for seeing us through this day. We have been counting the days, 31st of March 2022, and God be the glory. The day came and we were able to do our passing out parade, and it went all smoothly as you have witnessed. And you saw how our cadets, now ASCs, performed on the parade ground. So I can say that everything went on as planned, and I have to give thanks to everybody that contributed to the success of the passing out parade. Exactly. You know, we did not only teach them foot and arm drills, we also taught them customs processes and procedures, and we took them on all the modules of customs operations, from enforcement measures to valuation to rules of origin to parcel posts. Everything about the customs jobs have been taught.
Customs area controller in charge of Oyo and Oshu Command and his men has intercepted a suspect with cannabis along Ife Expressway in Ibadan. The customs area controller said a suspect was arrested with the suspected illicit drugs. He was intercepted by officers along Ibadan Ife Expressway. He explained that the suspect has been handed over to NDLA officials for further investigation.
32 wraps of cannabis. They were arrested in the course of our duties, and also the suspect who was arrested along with the cannabis. This is in furtherance of our synergy and collaboration with sister agencies.
The customs boss assured members of the public that the Nigerian Customs Service will continue to make life safer in line with the Customs and Excise Management Act, Cap 45 of 2004.
The Nigerian Customs Service, under the Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service, Colonel Amit Ibrahim Ali, retired, will continue to strive to ensure that this country is safe for all of us. Once again, I want to use this opportunity to send a note of warning to criminals. They should stay clear of Oyo Oshu Command.
Receiving the drugs on behalf of NDLA, the Oyo State Commander Abdullahi said that the Nigerian Customs Service has done a good job.
We are in a period where we are waging war against drugs, which will tag WADA, and this is coming to us within this period. It is telling Nigerians and criminals that Nigerian Customs and NDLA are on the same page.
So the drug is a bad market for the nation's growth. Customs Command in Katsina has arrested a suspect who claimed to be a policeman while smuggling items into the country. The acting controller of customs in charge of Katsina Command said that the arrested suspect is a fake police officer. He was arrested with contraband items including various ID cards stuck around his neck. He speaks more on the arrest.
So many inscription, different type of inscription in the Toyota Space Wagon, which we'll show you now. The suspect, a suspected police officer with 4 different type of ID cards, ranging from police ID card, 2 stars, Citizen for Peace and First Aid Mission of Nigeria, another ID card, Nigerian Association of Agri-Produce Dealers in partnership with Algon, another ID card, Iman, Federal Representative of Nigerian Task Force, Kaduna State. There's a Nigerian police ballistic jacket, a handcuff, and the suspected assistant superintendent of police with a rank badge, and what we refer as a base, live base protection, as well as tear gas.
According to him, a total of 42 million of seized items were made between the month of February and March this year.
The suspect, along with all the stated exhibits, excluding the rice, spaghetti, macaroni, and the vehicles, were handed over to the Nigerian Police Katsina State Command for further investigation to ascertain his claim of being a police officer. in synergy between the sister agencies.
The Customs Area Controller in charge of Tinkan Customs Command has been speaking on the clearance of goods at the port, so that the agent should always present the right documentation for their consignment at the port. He has this to say on a number of issues affecting clearance of goods at the port.
Disruptive technology. Non-intrusive is one of those technology. And I will advise our trading public and partners to key in because the train has started moving. This train is not going to wait for anybody. Although by articles of trade facilitation, we'll be consulting and engaging, which the ACG has attested to. So on this note, I thank you all for coming, and I know going forward, you go back to the confines of your office and think about this standard operating procedure. The ACG is open to comments, constructive comments, even after this engagement. The email to ICT and to the help desk of this standard operating procedure committee will be open for you to make comments.
Full force with which officers and men of this unit decode and demobilize their plans. The fight against smuggling is becoming more and more intense and fierce due to increased level of crime. Smugglers are more determined than ever before to confront officers on patrol, even unprovoked. This new wave of daring attitude of smugglers has claimed the lives of many officers. The latest being the hacking to death with machete of Inspector of Customs Onweguze A along Senator Road, Ilaru axis of Ogun State, after making a seizure on Wednesday, 2nd March 2022. Happening on intelligence and intensive patrols of the flashpoints within the zone, the following seizures became possible in the month of March 2022. 1. 6,747 bags of foreign parboiled rice at 50 kg each, equivalent to 11 trailers load. 68,225 liters of premium motor spirit, equivalent to more than 2 tankers. 2,150 cartons of frozen poultry products. 526 bales of second-hand clothing. 447 parcels, that is 2,056 kg of cannabis sativa. 927 pieces of used pneumatic tires. 781 pieces of used compressors. 256 pieces of imported vegetable oil at 5 liters each. 825 cartons and 108 pieces of tin tomato paste. 34 units of used motorcycles. 1,950 pairs of used shoes.
The Customs Area Controller in charge of Upper Customs Command has continued to surpass its monthly target as approved by the management of Nigerian Customs Service. The Customs Area Controller speaks on a number of issues and generation of revenue by its command so far.
In the period under review, the command has collected revenue to the tune of 264 billion, 536 million, 201,293.721 kobo. This shows a significant increase of 104 billion as against 159 billion naira collected in the corresponding months of the year 2021, representing 65.7% increase in revenue collection in the year 2022. This feat was most possible by the Almighty Allah through our officers' creativity and leveraging on the service IT platform to ensure that all revenue leakages have been mitigated, as well as sustaining the level of compliance by the importers to stakeholders in the clearance value chain. In the anti-smuggling operation, anti-smuggling activities has become a matter of central concern in the command, particularly with the activities of recalcitrant traders who are always looking for ways to undermine our system. The enforcement unit has been strengthened through strict monitoring, enhanced collaboration, and sharing of credible intelligence with relevant government agencies to suppress smuggling to the barest minimum. Though the command recorded a seizure of 46 containers of various items, 46 seizures of various items with a duty paid value of 1,142,876,606 naira, as against 28 seizures made in the corresponding months of the year 2021.
Just before I end up this week's edition of the program, Customs Report, we brought you a report where the Oyo and Oshu Command, Customs Command, intercepted cannabis worth millions of naira. For me, Igeseme Etinye, thanks for watching.